There's this freedom with not having a monthly rent or mortgage in where you live. It's a huge freedom, and that's what we have right now.
Spend a week with us sailing in the Caribbean aboard our tiny off-grid sailing home Wicked. Tackle boat jobs, catch dinner, cook, sail, and dive with us.
4 years ago, we bought a salvage sailboat. After purchasing her, we discovered extensive fiberglass rod and took on a project that was much bigger than we expected. But now, we've moved on to Wicked full time, and it's time to enjoy the fruits of our labor.
Alright, let me take a picture.
Follow along and consider becoming part of our journey as we fill our sails with wind and give Wicked a second life. Were taken. We could anchor, but we've anchored there before, and our anchor was fouled on some old I guess chain that was connecting the mooring lines, and Matt had to dive down and free up our anchor, so we don't feel comfortable anchoring in Red Hook. And the two moorings that were left, their pennants were broken off, which is the line that goes from the mooring so you can connect your mooring line on the boat to it. They're both broken off, which isn't a good sign, because if you're connected to it and the pennant breaks off, then your boat is floating somewhere. We tried going up to Sapphire. We looked with the binoculars. We didn't see any moorings available, and we saw a few boats there as well. So we're headed all the way back over to St. John, and we're gonna hang out in Lameshur Bay and dinghy over and fill up our water bladder, get some water and get some fuel, because we went out on the dinghy the other day and ran out of gas and had to row back. Matt rowed back because I have a bad neck. And so water, fuel, and burgers. Night photos don't come out that well.
Tiny living has its own challenges, but combine that with a boat that is at the mercy of Mother Nature and a relentless saltwater environment, you've just multiplied those challenges. I often dive under the boat to check the conditions of our prop, zinc, and bottom growth, which can really slow us down. And sometimes the ocean puts on a show.
We are currently moored in Francis Bay. It was the first anchorage we fell in love with when we began cruising. It feels like home for Wicked whenever we return. Slow mornings don't come often. Sometimes you're waking up by rain and your first task of the day is running around closing all the hatches. But today, the air was cool and the bay was calm. We lazed around in bed, drank our coffee slow, then I got around to cooking a late Jamaican breakfast of mackerel and boiled dumpling. We cook our food on a propane gas stove. Our gas on board lasts about 7 months, and the power needed for appliances regenerates every day with solar and is stored in our battery bank. Wicked stores about 100 gallons of water in her tanks, and this will allow us to go completely off-grid for 14 days. The last step in our off-grid setup would be a water maker. That would dramatically extend our time off-grid. Things can also get tight with tiny living, so some time off Wicked is always much needed. What's our mission today, Captain?
Here's a captain.
What's our mission today, first mate?
Catch some dinner.
Catch dinner. I mean, the only thing we can really catch here is lobster and conch. So,
Good enough.
huh?
Good enough.
Yeah, so we're after, we'll definitely be able to get some conch, and we're gonna look for some lobster that's a good size. So, we are on our way out. There's no anchoring allowed in Virgin Islands National Park, so that leaves one of us to be on dinghy duty, and that is usually me, as I'm the one with the fear of water and living things under there. I feel like I'm just jumping into a safari and there's things that are gonna get me. I'm slowly overcoming that fear, but until then, I'm on dinghy duty because I'm not going in there by myself. And sure, you've seen me in deep water before, but some days those fears get the best of me, and others, I conquer them. We just got back from snorkeling and we didn't get any lobster, but we did find some conch and turtle. And we're gonna head out to Red Hook. We've been here for a little bit already, and I've got some things to take care of in town, so Red Hook we go. We finished what we needed to do in Red Hook, so we decided to go to the south coast of St. John, and we ended up in Little Lameshur Bay. We are in the Virgin Islands National Park, and we are looking for some lobster. The only thing you can really fish for here is whelk, conch, and lobster. We've never had whelk before. Conch we had just the other day, and lobster eludes us. There's no season for lobster here, and they're pretty overfished. So we're looking for some. We're on the south side of St. John, and it's a bit quieter here, so we're hoping that we have better luck with lobster. Maddie is out there. I don't think you can see him. And I'm on dinghy duty as always, which I don't mind. You got a lobster. You can't see it very well, but there's a fish in front of a hole, and there's a lobster right there blocking the entrance. the fish gets spooked by Matt and pushes his way into the hole, which also pushes the lobster in there. And Matt went in to check, and the hole is deep. There is no getting anything out of there. So it's a snorkel kind of day again. Again, we're in the national park and there's no anchoring, so one of us has to tend to the dinghy. Today I really wanted to get in, so one of us just hang on to the dinghy while the other one snorkels around, and we just kind of take turns. What you doing?
Doing what I do best. Vacuuming the bottom of the boat. My monthly chore.
Mowing the lawn?
Mowing the lawn. I'm happy to do it.
Once every month or two, we scrape the bottom of the boat of any marine growth. We try to keep up with it as to not have any barnacles, so the only thing we have to deal with is soft growth. We protect our ears and our hair because there's little critters that live in the marine growth that really can get into places. I've gotten bitten by one once, and the bump and rash it leaves behind is not pleasant. We are hiking the Reef Bay Trail from Great Lameshur Bay. It's a 2.8 mile out and back trail. We heard of a small waterfall with petroglyphs, which are a form of rock art created by ancient people. go down or to go up? I think we need to go down. So we're gonna go down. Hopefully it's the right way. Because if not, we ain't making it. And I need to get a Beneteau hat, this leopard hat. Don't have a leopard. Maybe
we need a leopard.
Huh?
So we need a leopard.
Yeah, maybe I'm manifesting, but I don't want payments. There's this freedom with not having a monthly rent or mortgage in where you live. It's a huge freedom, and that's what we have right now with our Beneteau. So I need a Beneteau hat. All right, we're gonna continue our walk.
The petroglyphs in Reef Bay Pool were carved by the Taínos. Their culture developed about 700 AD. The carvings represent their ancestors and carved them where their ancestors assembled. They were carved to communicate with the supernatural world, but also to help manipulate religious doctrine in order that a social elite would emerge and maintain power. The Taíno were on their way to a very complex city-state system, very similar to that of the Maya and Aztec. But of course, they did not get a chance as their culture was destroyed within 20 years after Columbus landed.